Well, boys, 3 months in, it's episode 12 of the Wheels Blues podcast. Today, joining me as per usual is
at Tin Can Blues. Let's do this, episode 12. Sorry to be here without our buddy at Squeed, but he had prior engagements.
We miss you, Sid. We miss you.
Yeah. I'm at Eric_83, still working on memorizing that Twitter handle. So
you're doing pretty good.
Hopefully, we'll get there by episode 20.
Hopefully. There you go. way too many underscores for me.
Yeah, there's way too many in there.
Way too many.
And might I add, yes, I am missing Sid today, but I am humbled to be in the presence of the biggest Mark Messier fan maybe on planet Earth.
God.
Fucking rights you are. Fucking rights you are.
Shit.
That's right. Best Edmonton Oiler of all time.
Your new catchphrase.
Fight me, Twitter.
Be,
Fight me.
This is a mess.
This is a mess.
And let me tell you guys, this. And then you got to wink or something. Or like lower your sunglasses a little bit. This lower sunglasses is a mess. And then like, yeah! Dun, 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 but, you know.
Just like the beginning notes of that.
Yeah, I would carry around an iPhone actually all the time.
I do carry around an iPhone all the time.
Like that song?
Yeah.
Plays in CSI Miami?
Yeah.
So every time that you could do that, you could lower your glasses. This is a mess. And then,
yeah, but that just makes me think of David Caruso, and I don't want to think about that guy any more than I have to.
You don't want to think about Horatio?
No.
He was a good character.
I loved Horatio.
Boo.
It's all about better than.
It's all about Grissom and the original CSI. William Peterson for life.
I know, but
he was so vanilla.
Yeah.
What?
Horatio had personality, man.
What?
Yeah.
No, he didn't. All he did was one-liner and take off his glasses. That's literally all he did the entire show.
Done and done, buddy.
Done and done.
Everybody remembers it.
I
couldn't even remember the guy from the original's name until you said it.
I just said it.
Yeah, I couldn't remember it until you said it.
Because he blended into the show. It wasn't about him and his stupid sunglasses and his idiot catchphrases.
Dude,
and his terrible monotone voice.
Do you realize how many shows that spawned?
I think it was a murder. Woo! What?
Yeah, there was like at least like there was the original, and then there was like what two or
like
three.
Miami, New York,
which was later, but then all I mean is like think of all like Bones. What are all these other shows that are just like there's like a zillion shows about murder out there.
It's
where everyone's just getting murdered.
It's Law and Order's fault. Law and Order did it.
Yeah, I guess Law and Order probably did do that first, eh?
Law and Order is the original, like I guess, law show or whatever.
But CSI kind of really was like it really went to like here's the scientist doing the work, even though it was wildly inaccurate.
Yeah, that might have been the last time I think that like network TV was super, super massively popular, I guess.
Yeah, it's because nobody had a fucking choice.
Yeah, that's hey man, the original CSI is rad.
And like all that, even every show, man. Like even I watched, they have like a show called Chicago PD, which is obviously about police shit in Chicago. And then I remember seeing it advertised like Chicago Fire Department. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah. It's going to be a show about fucking fires and shit. And then I watched the show and it was just about murder. And I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Man,
like somebody set this fire and then they ran off and now we got to catch the arsonist. Like, well, this is just Chicago PD.
For the last year before Bianca left, every time I'd come home from work or being out or whatever, she'd be watching one of those fucking Chicago shows every time.
There's three of them. There's Chicago Fire, Chicago PD, and then there's Chicago Hope, I think it is.
Chicago Hope, which is like the hospital one.
That's the hospital one, of course.
Yeah.
So that's Chicago, there's all these shows, and they're either about murder or someone dying in a hospital while doctors try to save them.
Or somebody setting a house on fire.
And then they have to find the guy that was the murderer.
Yeah.
These people are like, that one show just spawned.
And nobody wears stupid sunglasses and says a stupid catchphrase.
Well, except Horatio. I mean,
Bones. He wore sunglasses. Didn't
I think
he?
Bones is a she.
Bones is David
Bones a
Boreanaz, and
Yeah.
Bones a person.
Yeah, but
Or
Bones is the girl character.
Was Bones the girl character?
Yeah,
I never watched
David
that show.
Boreanaz is the sidekick.
I never watched that fucking show.
Yeah, it was okay, but it was like every other show. Somebody gets murdered, and then you have to figure out. It's like every episode of every crime show.
It's not like cop shows have a lot of different plot lines they can expose.
But there's like 40 seasons of all these shows combined, and people are still fucking watching.
40 scenes, 40 series.
That's what I meant. 40 seasons.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like,
Law and Order was great though, because you got the first half of the show was all the cop stuff, and then the second half of the show was all like the legal, like, you know.
And it had that really sweet bass. Fucking.
I actually preferred Law and Order SVU.
Is that the one with Ice-T?
Yeah, that was man. Ice-T and Mariska Hargitay.
I'm not sure if they still do it, but at the Dome at Jay's games, they used to play the Law and Order theme when the umpires were coming out.
Nice, that's awesome. Was it just the little doot doot, or was
it was like the theme? It was the whole theme.
Oh wow.
Fuck. We should start an acapella band now, guys. The Wheels Blues acapella band.
Absolutely. Okay. I want to do what you're about to do, but just give me like 5 seconds.
You don't have your Pink Whitney at the ready?
I know. I had my father here, and he just left, and I just wasn't completely prepared.
I got my Pink Whitney ready for this pod when I woke up this morning. I got like kind of.
I don't have an alcohol problem. Okay,
I checked the temperature of it with a thing, and then I kind of like set it out and was like, yeah, there it is, and then I put it back in the freezer so it didn't get warm.
Well, I'm gonna.
Some of us are prepared, Wheels.
I'm gonna go get my alcohol, you boozers.
You're the only one here. Daniels has his Pink Whitney at the ready. He's ready to go.
Right here.
I'm pretty sure the shot's already poured.
Right here.
There it is.
He has to get his Whitney because it's buried under all of his Mark Messier memorabilia.
Yeah, it's Tom Brady and Mark Messier and all the letters he sent them that got rejected at the post office and sent back.
Tons of empty bags of Lay's potato chips.
Do you think his ringtone is that like, hey Connor, it's me, Mess, but he kind of like did like a overdub, was like, hey Justin, it's me, Mess. Answer the phone.
Would not be surprised.
Hey, just for everybody listening, Glorious Leader was not a participant in the inaugural shot of the podcast because the minions couldn't wait the 5 seconds for him to get his official Pink Whitney.
We still got ours.
You're gonna be eating those words, Glorious.
No, we didn't do it because we were being polite and waiting for you. Now I wish I did. If you're gonna roll back on over
first
here,
thing you do is just.
I saw it brought to your mouth, so I assumed you did it. I just, the virus is getting to me, man. I just think everybody's full of crap now. I'm sorry.
I bring a lot of things to my mouth. Never assume that I did it.
That's fair. That's fair. My mistake. I apologize. But yeah.
You're just gonna slam that bitch out of the bottle?
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's why you're the Glorious Leader, man.
There he is.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, friends.
Thank you, Pink Whitney.
Yeah, thanks for nothing. I guess
thanks for that. Holy shit.
I won't be thanking them until they're delivering cases. So Ryan Whitney himself is showing up at my door.
Yeah, we know people answer on Twitter because people answer us on Twitter, Pink Whitney. So get your shit together and answer us when we talk to you.
You are just coming in. You are guns hot tonight.
You want Ryan Whitney at your door on his wobbly ankles, don't you?
Yes, I fucking do. Screw Ryan Whitney's wobbly ankles. If he's not in a wheelchair, I don't want to hear about it.
You podcast like Mark Messier plays in the attack zone. And
Damn right I do. Damn right I do. I am a brute force moose. That's right.
Take enough fucking shots that you'll hit the net eventually.
That's right. Oh yeah, because the 75 passes from Wayne Gretzky to everybody else.
I think it was actually more like 190 passes.
Probably a game. Yeah, that's why he's got 7 million points. Messier was too busy doing everything else.
I don't even think I want to get into this on this pod.
Messier was too
We've
busy
already been
doing
there.
everything else.
I'm like turning into a Gretzky fan because of this nonsense. You're making me like Gretzky.
Am I convincing you otherwise? Are you just?
No, it's him.
Why are you not on my side? I don't understand. My arguments were well reasoned and logical.
We both had well reasoned, logical arguments.
That's very true. We did.
It was a good argument.
I know. I enjoyed Twitter, and you enjoyed Twitter too, Daniels. You told me.
I love it. It's just, I've never actually witnessed someone beat a dead horse before, so it just kind of took me back a little bit. Messier was great. I mean, we can all say he was great, but I mean, look, I mean, who's the best quarterback? Probably Tom Brady, right?
Yes, but
I can't stand him, but he's the best. You can't argue.
There could be arguments. You can't argue that people because
he holds the records, holds the throne.
Yeah,
because in that situation, take away all of Tom Brady's championship trophies.
I think Drew Brees has like all the passing and touchdown records. It's not Tom Brady. It's
either Tom Brady or
technically it's Drew Brees.
So it's like it would be like if Tom Brady doesn't have it, then Drew Brees has the record.
Statistically, it would be Drew Brees. Happened to.
Ooh, we might be losing wheels here.
Yeah, you good? Sunspot.
Is it me? Is it me going? No.
Yeah, we're all good.
Sorry, folks. That might have been me. Sorry, folks.
The hazards of Zoom podcasting, folks. It's the way it goes.
It's just now because there's friggin' people here. I mean, in town, not in my house.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, where are all these people?
No. But yeah, no. Yeah, finish your point. Sorry.
Yeah, that's like I'm gonna say my argument for like he holds records, and then he holds like the subsequent like 9 records, and then the next player is the 11th highest guy to score. The only person who could beat Gretzky's records was himself 9 more times, and then one of his records in the league is holding the most records. How? I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
He wasn't scoring by himself. He didn't pass the puck to himself. People had to score those goals, and people had to get those assists on all of his goals. He didn't do that by himself. He's not magic. Have you seen him make
passes? Like, I don't think he
wasn't passing to himself.
So I think the point that that Tyson is trying to make here is that it's like this chain. Well, who has the most goals in the NHL? Wayne Gretzky. Oh, well, someone must have been passing the puck. Who has the most assists in the NHL? Well, actually, Wayne Gretzky does. Oh, well, surely there's someone out there who has accumulated more points than Wayne Gretzky, and it's just like the head shaking.
Yeah, like, no. And then,
no, sir.
You know what it's like being like if you play on the Oilers? Every time there's like, whoa, I think that might have been a record. Like, was that a record, like an Edmonton Oilers record? No, it wasn't even a league record. Like,
it's interesting though, because like watching like the Last Dance documentary about like the Bulls and Michael Jordan, it's quite the polar opposite to this conversation where it was pretty much get Michael the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas Gretzky would be, Messier was great in that sense that when Wayne looked over and saw Mess, he knew he could put the puck on his stick, and he's probably going to get a goal. Which I hate to say it makes Wayne even that much more better because he's got that.
Because he knew that the other guy was
a playmaker. He immediately makes you better. He makes Mess look so good that you think Mark Messier was the best player. That's how good Wayne Gretzky is.
Actually, Gretzky did probably most of his great passing. Like the guy that capitalized most on Gretzky's great passing was probably Yari Curry.
It was definitely Yari Curry.
And I mean, it's like at the time, it was like you just paired the greatest passer in the entire world with the greatest shooter in the entire world. What the fuck do you think is going to happen? There's going to be
likes of which have not been seen since.
That's right. And they were beating teams like 13-2 and stuff.
I know. I was there.
I think. Yeah, we know how old you are. Right?
I was actually literally there for some of that.
I think that there used to be in the NHL. I think that after the after the penalty, like if you were on a power play and you scored, the penalty never ended.
They implemented the Oilers rule after like the first 2 years of the Oilers.
But the
having
Oilers
all
were
their
just
guys.
dummying people on the power play.
They were
scored
too
like 2 or
good,
3 goals in the power play, so they were like,
Yeah.
okay, we got to change that rule.
Yeah, they were just too good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just that whole team was fucking stacked, and Gretzky was a massive
stacked.
reason. Messier was a pretty massive reason too. Curry was a massive reason. Paul Coffey was a massive reason.
I was gonna say
Glenn
Paul
Sather
Coffey
was a
here.
massive reason.
Yeah.
Even guys like Semenko and stuff back then. Fuck you, Glenn Anderson. Like Jesus Christ. Like Steve Smith, Kevin Lowe.
It was a stacked
all
team.
those guys. Like,
It was. Let's not give Kevin Lowe
ridiculous.
too much credit.
He was pretty good. He was a pretty good defenseman, I think.
Yeah, I know. He was all right. I know.
Did you know he scored the first Oilers goal in team history?
I did know that. Actually.
Really? Craig McTavish, huh?
No, Kevin Lowe.
No, Kevin Lowe.
Oh, it was Kevin Lowe.
Craig McTavish wasn't drafted till like 1985. I don't think.
Yeah, he was much later.
Yeah.
But he was the last player to play without a helmet.
Yeah, he was.
I think I saw McTavish. Did
And he
McTavish ever
killed
play for
somebody.
Minnesota? Did he play for the North Stars?
Possibly.
No.
We'll have to get that true one to
Yeah.
check this, because I think my first ever hockey game at Maple Leaf Gardens was Toronto, Minnesota, and he was on that team. And my dad was like, watch the guy without the helmet on, because he always, after the warm-ups, apparently he would always shoot the puck like over the net and hit the glass.
Yeah.
Oh,
And that was pretty much my first hockey game and my introduction to, I guess,
that's cool.
Mac T.
McTavish.
Did you hear that guy's? I think he's pretty smart at hockey, man. Like he might have been like lumped into that old boys club BS, and he definitely said some stupid shit. Like if you have to ask the question, then you know the answer about his own goaltender, for fuck's sakes. Like
Yeah.
but he coached that 06 team fucking year to a Stanley Cup. Pretty much, like that team was like a scrappy ne'er-do-well, like just.
Well,
fucking
if we're
get it done
giving
team.
him credit for that, then we got to give Kevin Lowe credit for that, because he was the GM.
That was some pretty solid.
Of that
Kevin
team.
Lowe traded for Chris Pronger.
Yeah, he did.
And-
Yeah, we all know how that worked out.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, man. He traded. He gave up nothing for him, so it doesn't even matter. Like, sure Chris Pronger, some shit happened and he wanted out of town, but he traded like Jeff Wojciechowski and like some picks and like another guy.
Yeah.
Like you could have just been like Edmonton acquires Chris Pronger for guy.
Actually, didn't that pick end up becoming Dustin Penner?
No, I don't think so. I think
thought the
Penner was
pick
picked already.
Oh, I thought
Even
the
if
pick
it
ended up
did,
being
it-
Dustin Penner.
Yeah.
No, there's no comparison.
No,
for
because
sure.
that went to St. Louis. I think what ended up happening is maybe the Samsonov pick, like because Samsonov came from Boston.
Yeah,
The pick
right.
that they sent for Samsonov, I think, ended up being Lucic.
Oh wow,
That's who Boston took with that pick was Lucic. You could fact check that, shoot one if you want,
Yes, please do.
but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. So there's like some kind of weird trade tree going on.
Okay.
But anyway, Mac T, he went to Russia to coach at the beginning of September last year.
Isn't he
And
already gone?
Yeah, he lasted like 4 games and he was fired
Yeah.
because they went like they went like 1-3 in those 4 games.
No.
He didn't speak the language. He had like the guys on the team that he knew, like I think Radek Dvorak and another guy that were on that team that could speak both languages, and he knew them already. And Anton Lander I think was there.
Yeah.
And so I think he was like coaching, and then like the players were like telling the players what the fuck the coach was saying. So it's probably not the easiest thing to do, working in Russia and all this. But
Definitely.
that I listened to an interview with McTavish, and he just kind of said like, it's pretty fucking cutthroat. If you go 1-3, they're gonna fire you. Like you don't get the same rope. Like in Russia, it's fucking you win, no excuses. And I think that guy,
KHL.
yeah, he was coached. I can't remember where he was, but yeah, he got hired by a KHL team. And I was reading the KHL Twitter, and they were all psyched for it. And then like 4 games later, they were like, he's been fired. He did not win. He did not win. Not good enough.
You must go.
Yeah, go home now.
Cool.
No.
Go home, fuzzy hair guy.
Learn how to play in the cold.
Yeah. McTavish pretty much, he said he was surprised by the skill and the conditioning. He thought that kind of it was like the Wild West in Russia, like if people are just like fucking showing up drunk smoking cigarettes. But he's like, nope. When that team was fucking full on like professional hockey, conditioned well, all in shape, And yeah, so it was kind of a cool interview to listen to because the guy's been kind of like, that's kind of a rough go. You know, he went all the way over there and did his best. And
I'm surprised he thinks that, man, because if you watch like some of those old 70s fucking Russian hockey teams, man, they're a fucking machine. Like they're a machine.
They were like, well, it's because like those teams in Russia, they were like played together like fucking every day, like probably like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they've been playing together probably longer than the NHL teams that they've, you know, who's the one? Did they play Philly? And they played Edmonton, didn't they?
Well, maybe
the Red Army team. I thought that the Red Army team went and played like Philly and Edmonton and stuff.
Perhaps they might have, like in the 80s, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that like Philly or something like kicked because the NHL is a different league, I think. Yeah. And Russia's like a skill league.
Yeah. And especially the NHL was like in the 70s. Those Philly guys probably would have been showing up drunk and smoking cigarettes.
And then just kicking the shit out of everybody.
Absolutely, yeah.
Shit out of people. And like that, Bobby Clark, like.
That's probably why Craig McTavish thought it was like Wild West in Russia.
I'm pretty sure that Red Army against the Broad Street Bullies. I think you might be right. It might have even been the Broad Street Bullies. I think it only lasted 2 periods, and then the Russian team was like, "Holy fuck!" Like our guys are on the ice bleeding. Like
they left. They were like, "No, we're done."
They have to do that embarrassing walk across the ice to get out of the arena, and you see the coaches are like doing the waddle.
Trying not to slip, fall over.
We have been embarrassed. Let's go.
Daniels, you've been watching that Last Dance documentary, right? Have you been watching it too, Tyson, by chance?
I watched like the first episode, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And it's pretty interesting.
It's very good. It's very good. But fantastic. I was gonna say that, like, man, Isaiah Thomas, like, nobody likes that guy.
Because he was an asshole.
Apparently, he was a super asshole.
That's what happens to assholes, man. Like, and now because he had this other career as like a front office guy. Obviously, I think he was the first GM of the Raptors.
Yeah, he was.
Or at least he was the president or something. And and I mean, it's like, you see like this nice, guy, but not when he was playing basketball, not at all.
I think I just thought it was interesting that he gets worse press than Dennis Rodman. Like, it seems
because with Dennis Rodman's not hiding behind like anything. Yeah, Dennis Rodman is showing up in his like shower shoes and PJ pants and be like, "All right, let's go to the interview."
Yeah, he's not trying to betray something that he's not. That's for sure.
No, not at all. Whereas Isaiah's like, like with the handshakes when they're talking about how like Detroit walked off and and Isaiah's trying to say like, well, that's what Boston did to us because that's what you do if you're getting beaten. You just walk off. And it's like, well, no.
Like in the middle of a game?
No. It was like 10 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, and they just like all started walking off. And you can even see like there's a shot of Isaiah and he's like ducking down and like walking out. And
he's like, there's just no way we're going to win this. Like,
yeah. The series is over and he was but it was like, I mean, it's like, it's a big FU, like, to not at least
absolutely.
Like,
you kick their ass, take your fucking handshake.
When there's like 10 seconds left in like Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, and like the losing team is like down by 2 goals, and the faceoff's in their own zone, and that goalie's in the net. Do you think he's like, "Fuck, I gotta make this save"? Or like when the guy's taking the shot, like and he's like he goes down, like should I risk pulling a groin here? Like, just that face-off must suck for being on that side of it. Because
in the last 10 seconds, maybe,
there's no chance. Like, fuck.
I'd be already calling my country club and scheduling a tea time for the fucking.
Although didn't the fucking I don't want to bring up the sore spot for all of Alberta, but didn't the Ducks score with like 20 seconds left twice in that awful officiated series?
Oh no, they scored like 3 in the last like 6 or 7 minutes.
I thought it was like, but I thought like 2 of them were super fucking.
One of them was like within, but like it wasn't like the face off was in the opposite end. It was like in the Oilers zone. Those were Like, I mean, it's not over till it's over.
But the Oilers were winning though. That's what I'm saying.
But the face off, but the face off was in the Oilers zone and there was 10 seconds left. If you're down by 2 and the face off's in your own zone and there's 10 seconds left, you're like,
That's game over.
That's game over. Even the announcers are like,
well,
Oilers are gonna win this one. Or sometimes when I hear the announcers say that with like 2 minutes left, I'm like, fuck, you guys don't know the Oilers.
Yeah.
And like,
I hate that. The playoffs several years ago, it was like I remember Texas being in it. I can't remember who the other team was, and I was actually at North Face. It might have even been like before I started working at North Face, and the announcer is saying like that, like, you know, oh, Texas is like, you know, down to the last out. It's gonna, you know, like we're getting ready for the next game, and I was like, oh shit, shouldn't have said that.
Fucking jinx, man.
Texas came back and won the game like in the bottom of the ninth, and it's like, see, and I go to Katie, I'm like, that fucking announcer fucked over that team.
Yeah, that's the superstition part, eh? Like that announcer
totally.
jinxed him. That
Definitely.
motherfucker. Yeah. That's like, any of that, like, oh, geez, a shame if this goalie got a shutout. And then, you know, sometimes I'm shouting that at the other team when the Oilers are playing. Like, Jesus Christ, John Gibson, you're playing pretty good. You're cruising to a shutout. And then, you know, you just kind of hope you jinx them.
I always feel like that every time the Oilers are like winning by a shutout with like 5 minutes left. I'm like, they're gonna fuck this up. He's not gonna get a shutout. He made like 45 saves, and they're gonna fuck this up in the last 5 minutes.
You're one of those, huh?
Sure enough, like every time,
Yeah,
it's like, oh,
it
well,
does.
I
It
guess,
usually happens. It usually happens.
yeah. It's like, well, I guess fucking, I can't even remember the goalie for the Oilers right now.
I heard a funny story on one of the Spit and Chicklets interviews like a while ago. They had like a former, like an old, like from the 90s New Jersey Devil, like early 2000s New Jersey Devil, one of them. I can't remember who it was, but Lamorello was the GM. And he was like, yeah, that guy was a unique breed because like you weren't allowed, like, you know, you're not allowed beards. You got to be clean cut and all this stuff. It's just how he works.
Yeah.
But also he's like, yeah, but also he offered every player on the team a bonus for a shutout. It was like $25,000 for every player if the goalie got a shutout or something. So like if there was like a minute left, maybe it wasn't that much. Maybe it was only like $5,000. I don't know. But the player was like, yes, but since like that money was like to some of us was like a ton of money, right?
Yeah,
so,
totally.
So like we had fucking Brodeur in that, so we were pretty confident. But still, like if you were on the bench and there was like 30 seconds left, everyone on the bench was just yelling at all the guys on the ice to dive in front of the puck. Like, get in the fucking front of the puck, man.
Yeah.
$5,000. Get in front of the puck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scott Stevens is literally pushing people in front of the puck.
Yeah, probably. That guy,
rookie.
that guy was a fucking real piece of shit. That guy.
Oh yeah, Scott Stevens.
Fucking what a piece of shit that guy was.
I like Scott Stevens.
He's a piece of shit.
I liked Scott Stevens back in the day.
It was a different time, man. There was so many players that were pieces of shit.
Yeah, but so many players have brain damage because of that one guy.
Okay, maybe 3 players have brain damage.
That's fucking a
Lindros.
lot.
Eric Lindros.
Lindros. Paul Kariya.
Lindros has
Probably his brother too.
Yeah.
How many times did Lindros not keep his fucking head up? It would only take one time for you to be like, okay.
Okay, Don. Keep your head up.
Yeah, he's not wrong. I don't like Don Cherry, but he's not wrong.
Like, you should be responsible for yourself on the ice, but like, Jesus Christ, your colleagues, you're both players. You have to sit together in a players union. But last week, I fucking tried to take your head off. How the fuck are we gonna sit together now? You know, like
everybody was trying to take your head off in the '90s and the 2000s.
I tell you, if Scott Stevens was trying, if Scott
Claude
Stevens,
Lemieux,
that guy was
Lemieux is more
rat.
of a scumbag than fucking Scott Stevens.
They were both pieces of shit, but I don't think Scott Stevens, he fucking ended Paul Kariya's career. Like, he fucking ended. He was a promising guy. Like, he was. I mean,
Paul Kariya was red. I like Paul Kariya.
Yeah, and he fucking concussed Paul Kariya so bad. Paul Kariya did get up and score a goal right after that, but he was never the same.
Wasn't Paul Kariya on the O2 team?
Olympic team.
Olympic team? Yeah. I think it might have been around that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Paul Kariya still played
he didn't play much
like
longer.
10 years.
Yeah,
he still played like 10 years maybe.
Yeah, but
I'm just trying to remember when Scott Stevens called it a career and how that stacked to where Paul Kariya was.
2006 probably.
Yeah, was it? Yeah.
Probably is when Scott Stevens called a career, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think we forget how long ago 2005 actually was.
So long ago. So long.
Like, no, Scott Stevens has been retired forever. 2005 was like 3 years ago. Oh, wait.
Oh, wait. No, it wasn't.
Oh, wait. No, it was 15 fucking years. Okay. That's why I feel.
Oh, man.
I became a Scott Stevens fan. We had one of the Rock'em Sock'ems, and there was this. I think it was a Rock'em Sock'em, and there was this clip of Scott Stevens, and he was telling someone, like, it was just, you can see him mouthing, and he's like, "Do your chin strap up, because I'm coming for you next." And I remember seeing that and being like, "Oh, I like this guy." I was super into that Philadelphia Flyers Legion of Doom team.
Yeah.
With LeClaire and Brind'Amour and Desjardins and Lindros, and holy shit, what a bunch of big. Even though they would stop us, I mean, Hextall, he was a tough guy too. Like,
Hextall was like, he was the toughest goalie in the world, man. That guy would like hack the bone to anyone that stood in front of him.
Yeah. He missed his calling for sure, because he should have been a boxer. Like,
how do you hate on Scott Stevens, but you don't hate on Ron Hextall? Ron Hextall was legit trying to hurt people.
Yeah,
Scott Stevens was just trying to body check you.
Like, he a couple of slashes with a stick.
Nobody kept their fucking heads up.
Yeah, but Hextall wasn't like if you were skating around the net.
Yeah,
Hextall didn't like take his stick and try to take your head off.
I'm pretty sure he did.
No, he didn't. He just gave you. If you stood in his crease,
he'd knock you. He'd knock you for sure. But Stevens, he was a headhunter.
He was a fucking headhunter, and he wasn't.
And it was legal. It was like legal.
That was legal, and like Scott Stevens should be ashamed of himself for what he did to the rest of like his fellow players.
The rest.
Yeah, what he did to the rest of his to his own they're his fucking colleagues, man.
You should be ashamed.
It's not ballet. It's not ballet. You're not.
I don't care, man.
Ballet.
Like, that's fucking knowing what you like.
Dude,
back then, you didn't know.
You know what? I've watched Augie with you for like 10 years.
So
what do you fucking say to him? Why do you fucking hate him, man? Get a fucking suspension. Take his fucking legs out.
Hey, we're talking about. That's you. We're not talking about Kachuk here. That's a different story.
Oh, that's totally different. Oh yeah.
I literally did a spit take there.
Yeah.
Oh, that's BS, man.
Take out his fucking knees. Take a suspension, man. Don't be a bitch.
Come on, Lucic. Where are you?
Come on, Lucic.
Who's the bigger piece of shit? Scott Stevens or Steve Avery?
Who the fuck is Steve Avery?
Sean Avery.
Oh, Sean Avery.
Sean Avery.
Sean Avery, I guess is he the one that stepped on that guy's Achilles tendon? He was
definitely the one that was like putting his stick up in Brodeur's face during the playoffs.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I still think Scott Stevens is a bigger piece of shit, but Sean Avery's an asshole for sure.
Wow.
For sure. Like, look, man, if you're fucking watch the video where he hits Korea, and then look at Korea's fucking face and arms just straight up.
That's because Korea's 5'4", 160 pounds.
He was so
Stevens
concussed.
Wasn't that much bigger. Stevens wasn't a big guy. He was just like he knew how to use his body, right? Like,
well, he would hit you in the head with his fucking shoulder.
Compared to Korea, he's a massive dude.
And then fucking your
I guess that's true. Yeah, Korea was a little. He was
a little tiny dude.
But there's like Hextall just give you a couple of whacks on the shins, and like maybe you're probably gonna be okay.
Stevens hit you once.
Scott Stevens did everything but like pull a gun on you.
Yeah, that's the thing. What do you mean he hit you once? Fuck,
wow.
You take one hit from Scott Stevens in the face where he targets your face with his shoulder. It's not like the guy was like, I'm just gonna hit the guy shoulder to shoulder. No,
you're allowed to shoulder check.
You're allowed to shoulder, not to the head.
There's lots of headshots. There shouldn't be, but there
shouldn't be. Back then it was fine. Now it's not. Now we know better. Now we're like, wow, that guy was a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Back then you were like, that guy's awesome. But now we're like, oh, what a fucking dick.
It's fucked how we know that, but yet there's still guys like a Corey Perry who like 13.
Yeah, Corey Perry's a bigger piece of shit than Scott Stevens.
Like 13
I think Corey Perry actually stepped on.
13. What was it? Was it 13 seconds into the Winter Classic, and this guy's taking like a fucking game?
That was a wicked walk. The walk of shame. You're talking about that?
So long.
Yeah.
He's just
so long.
Did you see the video where somebody took the video and then put the like dope 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 dope?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that was fucking a good video to watch. And plus, I hate that guy too. He's a fucking former Duck, man. Fuck him.
If Corey Perry played Scott Stevens in a game of one-on-one hockey, would either of them make it off of the ice after one 5-minute period?
Probably not.
They fly into each other right off the bat, elbows out. Like,
Okay. If Scott Stevens a piece of shit, is Zach Cassian a piece of shit for kicking a guy in the chest?
yeah, that's a piece of shit. Yeah,
That's a piece of shit move.
You bet.
That's a piece of shit for sure.
It was also a piece of shit move when Cassian swung a stick and busted Gagne's jaw and fucking.
That was a super piece of shit move for sure.
That
Yeah,
was a
but you
piece of shit
love
move for
Cassian, don't you?
I think he's.
Cassian has charm. Cassian has this charm
what
about
are
him.
you talking about?
No, he does.
That
when
doesn't make
scrum,
it okay.
No, I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying it's like, oh, that was such a shitty move, and then you watch him in the scrum, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, maybe.
I watched Scott Stevens lots, man, and I think he's awesome.
I'm pretty
Scott
sure
Stevens
that
has some dreamy blue eyes. I'll tell you that.
I'm pretty sure after Cassian did that dumb shit, he was like, "Yeah, that was dumb," and I shouldn't have done that, and I'm pretty who knows,
It's not like Scott Stevens headhunted everybody.
Yes, he did.
You only remember that he's a headhunter because he did it to Lindros and Paul Correa because they were dumb enough to skate into the fucking trolley.
Dude, there was like 100 people dumb enough to skate, cut the middle with
Think of all
Scott
the
Stevens.
other
on the ice.
no-namers.
And nobody
third and fourth liners.
None of you even remember those guys.
It's because Scott
You're not
Stevens
even complaining about those guys.
It's because Scott Stevens ended their career after 1 week.
Scott Stevens erased them with his shoulder.
So that's why you don't remember them, because their lives got ruined. Their career got ended, and now they're working at fucking Target.
If it wasn't for him doing it to Lindros or Korea, nobody would care or even remember. And
Yes,
you'd all
they
be like saying, "Oh, Scott Stevens, what a hard-hitting, effective defense."
No, I would never say that nowadays about Scott Stevens.
I don't believe you. I do not believe
I
you.
wouldn't.
I watch hockey with you. I'm calling bullshit.
No, I would not. Scott
Calling
Stevens, man.
bullshit.
That's look, a 90-mile-an-hour fucking two players screaming at each other, going top speed, getting hit in the head by a shoulder is a dick move. Just fucking let up, man. You don't need to hit him like that. You don't. That's a little different than two guys agreeing to square up in a fight where you take a couple of lumps to the head and nobody a really bad one that I thought was awesome at the time, and now I'm like, ugh, fuck.
See, now he does. He did think it was awesome. Oh.
No, that Ivanens versus Steve McIntyre fight against Calgary, it ended that guy's fucking career. And that was
I don't think I remember that one.
And I mean, it's not like they both agreed to the fight. So, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
It's you didn't agree to get fucking concussed by Scott Stevens and have your neck fucking broken.
You kind of agree to that when you're playing in the NHL. Those are the risks.
You don't. You agreed to play fucking
hockey.
hockey.
You have a point because of the time period. You are taking that risk. I mean, it's because back in those days it was like, you took your 2-minute whatever boarding penalty.
Yeah. That was 2 minutes for excessive roughness.
But it wasn't boarding. It wasn't boarding. He wasn't boarding people. He wasn't dirty. He was just.
Well, no, but this is what I'm saying is I'm trying to find your point. So
yes.
You be the mediator here.
I'll settle down.
Because we're both hard-headed motherfuckers.
So it's like, you're right. Eric Lindros knew the risk he was taking when he stepped on the ice because of the time period that he played in. So you are right. You knew what you were getting into, but Scott Stevens didn't have to, just because that was the time period, that doesn't make it, okay or whatever, that Scott Stevens was literally putting rockets on his skates and flying, leaving his feet. Because he was small, he would have to leave his fucking feet. This guy's career would have been maybe 1 year in today's NHL.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't even make it, man. He'd be fucking 9 suspensions.
He'd be washed out, if that, man.
Yeah.
If that.
The guy, I don't even know if the guy was had any talent other than hitting people at the blue line.
He was not prolific. He might be the Hall
of Fame. What are you talking about?
Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
You've got to be fucking
Scott Stevens is in the Hall of Fame.
You get in for penalty minutes?
You've got to be kidding me.
I'm telling you, Scott Stevens is in the Hall of
Fame.
Fame.
I can't even wait for the fucking official fact checker there.
At True One definitely has his work cut out for him this week.
It's been 20 minutes, man. Get going there at True One.
He's going to earn that paycheck that we're embezzling.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fuck.
Scott Stevens.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
He's in the Hall of Fame.
I told you.
Oh my God! And
Wow.
he was drafted by the Capitals in '82, and he finished playing for the Devils in '04.
Shit.
Yep.
Scott Stevens enters the Hall of Fame 2007.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeesh. Neither do I. I mean, you know what? It's because the league is kind of funny. Like, if you won a cup, you're pretty much, and you like scored a big goal or something, or the media talked about you a lot, you're pretty much gonna make it in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I feel like the NHL Hall of Fame, like the criteria is
A little weird.
Vincent Cavalier's not in the Hall of Fame.
He's not.
No, he's not.
And he won a cup in 04.
Kevin Lowe's not in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Charlie Uddy, Craig McTavish.
No, they're not in Hall of Fame.
No,
but Scott Stevens is.
Ulf Sanderson's not in the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God.
Alfie Sanderson's not in there?
I'm just saying there's lots of players that were borderline decent that are not in the Hall of Fame.
Is there a time limit like in baseball, like where you're on the ballot for X amount of years in hockey? Is that
I am unsure.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I know that like usually you have to wait a little while after you retire to get in.
Yeah.
And then you get put on a ballot. I don't know.
It's like it's the 3-year waiting period. I think they've only ever waived it for like
here's a
Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr.
I think they only waived it for Gretzky.
They did it for Lemieux too.
I don't know.
Because
Messier didn't get it waived.
They didn't waive it for Messier. No.
I'm pretty sure like the day that Wayne Gretzky played his last game in New York, like he went to the podium and was like, "Yep, it was a good game." And there we go. And then they were like, "Yeah, you're in the Hall of Fame now." And he was like, "Fucking cool." Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like Gretzky's going into the Hall of Fame and Messier is walking behind him, and like the guy's like,
like, no, just stay away.
Hold on, sir.
You're not
allowed in here yet.
You got like 6 more years with the Canucks still, so.
That's right. He was.
That's very true. He did do
that. Didn't they fucking rip the C off Trevor Linden to give it to him?
Probably.
Yeah, they did.
Probably.
It was like, nah, that's not yours. Messier's here.
Oh man,
they're not wrong.
And then Messier proceeded to have like the worst years of his career, I think, pretty much in Vancouver.
That's because he was 75.
I know he was
too busy selling potato chips.
He was
buying on other things.
He was already fucking waiting. He was already watching McDavid as a small child. Like, fuck this guy. This guy, I tell you, my name's Mess the Moose.
Moose.
Go down to Mundare.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fuck, that Stock and Thunder is the best shit I've ever heard in my life. I just fucking, you can laugh forever at it. It's so good. Just because the guy that does the voice of Messier is so awesome. It sounds so dead on.
Oh man, I'm starting to cry. And I promised Mess I wouldn't do this.
I promised Mess I wouldn't do this.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man. Yeah, that guy. You know what? Messier. I get it. Like, I'm not saying he's a shitty hockey player. I'm just saying Gretzky.
No, I know, and I'm not saying Gretzky's a shitty hockey player.
You're just saying Mess is better.
I think our points are both valid and they have merit, but you know,
just to put this on the record, you think Messier is better?
I do think Messier was a better overall hockey player than Wayne Gretzky. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We
can put that on record. Come at me, Twitter. Come at me.
Oh, they might.
Good. Wayne Gretzky's going to get at you on Twitter. He'll be like, what the fuck did you just say?
Good. Wayne Gretzky, come on the Wheels Blues podcast and tell me why I'm wrong.
Actually, Gretzky would be like, he would be so humble because he's a good fucking Canadian boy. He'd be like, yep, Messier was excellent, very integral to the game, a great ambassador to the sport. And he would just say that a lot.
Mess would say that too.
What he would say.
Say that too.
Great ambassador to the sport. Good boy from St. Albert. Gotta love him from Alberta. Loves Edmonton. Loves the Oilers. Loves everything about it.
And then he would promise Messier that he wouldn't cry.
Kind of sounds like Barack Obama was saying that.
Oh, it does.
It kind of sounds like Barack Obama does.
How is Barack Obama doing? How's he doing with all this stuff? Yeah,
he's good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not shaking his head in shame at the entire world.
Well, you know, it's not his problem now. So, you know.
I feel like it's kind of everybody's problem.
Yeah, but like for 8 years, everything was that guy's problem.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Everything. And now he can kind of just go, it's not my problem.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
he's a little bit happy. We're going to do some fishing.
He does get to hang out on Tom Cruise's yacht, so you know he's all right.
Gonna be honest with you, I'm kind of bummed I can't watch March Madness this year.
That would be something he would say.
Yeah, we went out shopping for a new
totally.
pair of dad jeans for him. He's pretty happy.
Nice. Nobody rocks dad jeans like Barack Obama.
He can hike them up real high and just be super psyched about it.
Super psyched.
Yeah, just loves it.
Yeah, there's a good feeling when you hike up a good pair of dad jeans.
Is
Today.
there a good? I don't really like
Wait a
the
second.
feeling when my
So-
jeans are hiked up. I don't know what you're talking about.
Do our jeans,
I pull those things right up, bud.
do our jeans,
Sure.
do our jeans become dad jeans because we're dads, or do you have to buy separate kind of jeans for that?
No, you have to buy separate kind of jeans.
Yeah.
And
There's
they have
specific types of
elastic
jeans.
waists.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They come with a free pair of Velcro shoes.
There's no actual button. They're just
Yeah.
like elastic
It's a
waist
fake
sweatpants.
button, yeah.
It's a fake button.
Yeah.
The brand is Stay Fit.
Stay fit. All one word.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh man.
Fucking yeah.
So what have you boys been up to this week? What did you get up to?
Just the huge. Took Tommy out to for just like a little stroll today. I feel like today he was getting a little stir crazy, so we went out for a little jaunt to try to burn some of that energy off.
Nice.
And another beautiful day here in quarantine land.
Is
It's
he?
nice today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you leave your house, Wheels?
I did not. No.
Did you-
I'm
did you
getting,
go
I'm getting
balcony?
close. Yeah, I was on the balcony.
Okay,
Actually.
there you go. I count that.
Yeah, no, yeah, I
Yeah,
count
oh,
that
yeah,
too.
I
totally.
count that because you can cruise out there with that bottle of Pink Whitney and just fucking down it for a little while and just fucking
Fucking true.
you could yell at people walking to Cavell.
That's very true, man. Get
Get on my
inside.
lawn! Get on my lawn!
Why is there 4 of you? Fucking separate.
Separate! I don't see 6 feet.
Stop holding his head.
Well, actually, there is Katie was telling me about this last night. It's called cohort,
What?
and it's like one household of healthy people can get together with another household of healthy people, and they can now visit each other. So I was gonna bring this up off air, but since we're on air and we're here, I was gonna. I guess Sid's not here to chime in, but I was gonna say to you, Tyson, how much do we actually value Justin's life that maybe we can start doing an in-house show here?
Well, you know what? I can't fucking wait to get back to
Yeah.
an in-house show.
Yeah.
Because this has been pretty nice doing Zoom. I'm really glad it's available. It's really served us very well. But
Yeah.
man, it's just I think we got some kind of exciting news, podcast listeners. The next time you hear us live, our sound will be considerably better.
Yes, it will. Yes.
We have purchased a Rodecaster Pro and some microphones, or at least Wheels has been telling me he's bought a microphone.
I showed you a picture.
I saw evidence.
That you don't pay attention to me when I show
Yeah.
you. That's cool.
You
That's-
showed me a
that's cool.
picture, but I don't know. You didn't show me like the it's coming. You just showed me here's the.
I showed you the box of the picture.
We saw a box.
Yeah, I didn't see like
that
a
is
receipt.
that's the box of the mic. That's the microphone box.
Well,
What are you
so
talking-
I'll say this. I'll actually say this because I saw an interesting video on Twitter today of U.S. Vice President Mike Pence
Oh boy.
was delivering. What did you see this video? Do you know what I'm
No,
talking
I
about?
No, I don't know what you're
Oh
talking
my
about.
god! Okay, so he got caught on a live mic. He was delivering boxes of PPE to a hospital, right?
No.
And when he thought he wasn't being heard by anyone, the mic picked him up. Like he's walking back to the van, and one of his staffers is like, "These ones are empty over here, sir." And he goes, "Well," he says, "Well, can you guys get like a shot of me taking the empty boxes into the hospital?" And then like an hour after that, 2 of his staffers have fucking COVID-19. And this guy's taking empty fucking boxes for a disease that is apparently a hoax.
I want to talk about that because that's been pissing me off. I don't know when it switched and when people decided that this was bullshit, but like,
Oh, this
it's
was
like
bullshit from Jump Street, according
Okay,
to
well,
fucking
yeah. There's some people.
administration.
There's some people on Facebook and the fucking states And they're like, "Oh, this has been a hoax," and I'm like, "Just people are dying. Like that. Like I just don't understand."
But people die every day.
Yeah, people die every day.
You know,
They die of the flu all the time. Well, this isn't the fucking flu, man, and people don't know how to fix this.
Well, it's wildly more contagious, and there's already how many fucking people are dead? A lot, like a fucking ton.
Like 70,000 at least.
Man,
in the
there's
United
1.7 million people in the States that have it. I didn't realize the number was that high. 1.7 million out of like 3.7.
I mean,
that's literally like 40% of the fucking whole thing.
Yeah, that's a lot. It's like 1/36 the population of Canada.
Yeah, it's
the whole Canada.
That's some hopes, man. This is like the moon landing.
Something like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, well, let's not even talk about the moon landing because I'm sure there's lots of fun people about that one, too.
I like watching.
Are you for or against the moon landing?
I'm for the moon landing because
okay.
Of course I am. Yeah.
This almost took a dark turn.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This almost took a like, oh fuck, this is going to be called the Blues Podcast pretty soon.
No, man. You can't take me out. My name's on the logo.
Glorious leader doesn't believe in the moon landing.
Don't be saying that out loud. People don't understand sarcasm anymore.
Okay. No, just to be clear, glorious leader Wheels
does believe in the moon landing. It was not filmed by Stanley Kubrick.
If Wheels saw Buzz Aldrin, he wouldn't get punched in the face.
He would not get punched.
Real.
That's true.
That's a classic video to go back to.
That is good.
Down.
Yeah.
It's like, I think I need to watch Buzz Aldrin punch someone in the face.
Yeah.
The guy that's been on the fucking moon.
Yeah.
Literally.
You've never been to the moon. Planet. Fuck you, I haven't.
Oh my god! And speaking of that, okay, so I was playing Call of Duty the other night. And it was one of the few times that I left like the chat on. Like I usually don't chat to these fucking idiots.
Yeah. It's
so
exhausting.
So these guys are chirping back and forth, and all of a sudden this guy goes, he says, "I don't understand why these Europeans think they're so much better than Americans. I mean, they haven't even been on the moon." And I was like, no.
Does he think every American is now in contact with because they're on the moon or what?
It counts. It counts as an American accomplishment.
An American. I accomplished
American accomplishment.
I was born fucking 40 years after that happened.
You will never be on the moon because you're not American.
And well, you're clearly not cool enough.
Clearly not cool enough. Clearly.
I thought that was like. I just started cracking up. Like,
did you chirp up?
I did. I had like a string of like people just like I was coming around corners and just like getting shot to shit because I was just laughing at this inane statement.
Nice.
And I was thinking in my head, I was going to say, I was like, well, hey, man, there's been plenty of Canadians in space. But all he would say is like, yeah, but not on the moon, man.
Yeah.
You're forced to be like, oh, you're
Dude,
right.
There's I'm pretty sure two people in existence that have ever been on the moon.
Yeah.
That's Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. The third guy was in the
No. They sent others after.
I don't think
there was other Apollo missions that went on the moon.
I don't think there's
anyone's ever been on the moon since then.
I think they tried a couple times, but one of them was like wasn't one of them
Apollo 13.
Yeah, that one blew up.
I'm pretty sure they've got close. Like they were near the moon, but they never landed on it.
Yeah.
I always thought there was other those later Apollo missions where you have no idea who they made no movies about these guys.
Yeah, it's been like
it's entirely possible there's been missions where nobody knows that they were on the
years since the moon landing. 51 years since the moon landing has been.
1969. Yeah.
51 years. So and we haven't gone back. But why? Conspiracy.
Because Elon Musk is making space hotels.
No.
Everybody can go to the moon.
Yeah, no, it is like.
I agree. Why not?
There's already a flag there. I mean,
yeah,
you already got the rocks and you brought them back.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Yeah. Well, what else? There's
a very real chance that there's shit going there that we don't know about.
Oh, absolutely.
Like the military is already doing things there that we don't know about. But
fucking
as far as
as
we know, there's been two people in existence in the entire world both of whom, to my knowledge, were both Americans. So he's got a point there.
Do you really think there has been other people on the moon other than those first two?
There'd be no way of knowing.
Factually,
maybe a Russian.
Yeah,
but not anybody else.
Not like some secret North Korean that like they just ninja up to the moon and nobody knows about it.
No,
not
those guys can barely get a fucking nuclear rocket to work. They're not fucking sending anyone to the moon.
That's fair.
Yeah, there's no way.
No.
Can you imagine being
that was guy? Though with Korea thinking that whatever his name is Kim Jong-un was dead, and then they were showing all these videos of like his fucking sister who looks 100 times more evil than
she looks fucking evil as fuck.
The fucking Pillsbury Doughboy that he is. Like
at least it looks like if he got really worked up, he'd just tire himself out and fall asleep.
Yeah, not her though.
Yeah, not her. She looked like she meant business.
Days off.
She was definitely the more evil of them, which is terrifying.
She's the Pilates instructor of North Korea.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She looks terrifying. She looks like she'd push the button now.
Man, apparently that guy has a 2,000.
Just because.
That guy has like a 2,000 person harem. How is that even possible?
He has
apparently he's got a harem of 2,000 women. That like he can
why not?
What do
you can chop your fucking head off if you fucking don't. That's why.
It's because he can do whatever he wants.
Give me a blowjob, or I'm gonna like bomb your village, and no one's gonna know about it because you're not allowed to have press in North Korea.
Yeah, and plus you're locked in here for the rest of your life, and you can't talk to anybody. So there you go.
Yeah, so go make some kimchi and then get over here.
Yeah,
that's so many people there. Like they could easily just take out one guy.
No, not at all.
Apparently, not.
I think that there's a lot of repercussions that like. You got to be careful.
There has to be more people that hate Kim Jong-un in North Korea than like Kim Jong-un in
I know,
North
but
Korea.
like, so you kill him off, and who comes into power? His fucking crazy
sister.
Yeah, bro. I didn't know he had a scary Pilates sister. So
Look, you got to see some of these videos of her, man. Like just her like look like a picture of her like looking into the camera with like a smile, and you're like, you shudder because you know like. She's responsible for like millions of people dying.
You can just see it in her eyes. Her eyes.
Oh yeah, she's got the look.
Yeah, she just got those fucking. Yeah, I've murdered people eyes.
Well,
I'm actually worried now that we're talking about her like this. That
Zoom is apparently the least secure fucking online thing you can be to. So
she looks like the girl from The Ring, but an adult.
Oh shit.
She's like the adult chick from The Ring.
Took a shower and cleaned up and shit. Got a job in North Korea.
That's what she looks like. She looks like the ghost from The Ring that would come out of your TV.
So what do you think happened, guys? So either he actually fucking died, and it took them 13 or 14 days where they, there's all that, maybe he's dead. It took the North Korean government 13 or 14 days to come up with a body double and perform the plastic surgery on him so that he looks like Kim Jong-un enough to go to a public thing. Or did he have COVID and then have to heal up?
I could see that. I think he had COVID.
You probably did.
I think that he had COVID. I wouldn't put it past North Korea to like weaken and Bernie's him around for a couple months. But I could absolutely think that he probably had COVID and recovered.
Well, because he can't be seen to have anything like that. Like,
of course not.
Oh no, not
because
at all.
According to like according to a very unreliable source in the Interview movie with Seth Rogen and James Franco, he's known to not ever take a shit. So like like he's a superior being. He can't.
All the COVID germs are inside. They're not coming.
So they can't. Obviously, he can't be in public, or and he has to just come out and be like, "Yeah, I was just hanging a fucking wicked dump or something," and for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks straight. Well, if you've never shit, it would probably be like 2 weeks worth of shitting for you to finish shitting.
Once a year, and it's like fucking Randy Marsh from South Park, where it's like huge.
Oh, hot.
Oh man,
I love that episode, man.
He shits what he does.
Yeah,
he shits Bono.
He shits Bono. I'll never be a number 2 again.
It's a great episode.
That was so good. I loved how much they shit on Bono. Fuck you too.
Yeah.
And fuck Bono.
Yeah, there's not. Yeah,
they got a couple good songs. I don't mind their songs.
But the guitar player calls himself the Edge, and at that point, I can't take the entire band seriously. And Bono wears fucking, you know, like
it was the '80s when he came up with that. '70s.
You know,
you can't take the Edge seriously, but you're okay with Slash and Buckethead.
I'm not okay with either of those guys.
Buckethead. Hey, now Buckethead is a genius.
He's very talented. I agree, but it's a stupid name.
Slash is stupid too.
Name. He wears a bucket on his head. What the hell are you gonna call him? Floyd?
Whatever the fuck his actual name is.
Probably is Floyd.
It's like, not
Buckethead. Fuck his name. Fuck the name Floyd.
Probably is Floyd.
I should have done that in high school. I probably would have got more chicks.
If you were Buckethead.
I'm Buckethead.
You know what? If somebody else was like, "Whoa, man, you play super edgy guitar. I'm going to start calling you Edge." But no, he was like, "I'm going to call myself the Edge." And at that point, like, fuck, like, man, oh man.
I don't know. One of the best wrestlers of all time was Edge, so I have no problem with Edge.
Yeah, but he wasn't the Edge.
Yeah, but, and then he didn't name. Well, he probably did name himself Edge. But
I probably referred to him as the Edge.
That's different. It's not like the guy. It's like here's Bono and whoever the fuck else plays in U2. And
what the fuck is Bono? Why is his name Bono?
Isn't that his actual name?
That can't be his actual name.
No, it's probably like Bon something like
Bon, like candy. No.
or Bono, or Bono's like his last name. His name's like Ian Bono or
or something like
Bono, that. Like there's like a UGH in there.
Maybe the Edge's name is Floyd the Edge. We don't know.
Floyd the Edge.
Okay. All right. Hang on, guys. Bono's real name is Paul David Hewson.
Oh, well, okay. Well,
there you go.
So why the fuck is he called Bono? It's a dumb name.
PDH, man. Fuck yeah. I like PDH better than the Edge.
PDH?
Well, his name was Peter David Hewson.
Oh, yeah, PDH.
Yeah, PDH. What's up with PDH?
PDH sounds like a drug that didn't go to
the
trial.
Edge's real name is David Howell Evans.
PDH could be the cure for COVID.
Apparently.
Maybe that's what Kim Jong-un had. He had a little PDH.
Injecting disinfectants are the cure to COVID. Didn't you hear?
Thanks, Trump.
Oh, sorry, and sunlight.
Is it time for a shot? Fuck.
Yeah, let's do. Yeah, I was holding it up. You weren't paying attention.
I was paying attention, but we were mid convo.
Yeah, no, we were.
All right, you dicks. I'll do it.
Thanks, boss. Cheers, boys. Cheers.
Cheers. I got to take it a little bit easy because the last time that we cranked this much Pink Whitney, I had a pretty good headache the next day.
Yeah.
Take some like Advil before you go to bed.
That's actually really bad for you. That fucks with your heart. That fucks with your heart.
What?
If you take Advil before you go to bed when you're like drunk, it fucks up your heart. Don't do that.
I'm gonna take that risk.
Elon Musk said you shouldn't do that.
Oh, Elon Musk said, yeah. Well, he made a shitty car, so is that where advice from?
Apparently, it's like an electric sports car. I like that car. It's like
it looks like a piece of shit that he threw a brick through the bulletproof glass.
It's like the Speed Racer car. You put a 6 on it, and you're basically Speed Racer.
So, how much do you think one of those cars is?
Oh, it's
$80,000.
A lot of money.
Did you say 80?
I think the sport. Yeah,
really? That's it?
Yeah,
that's it. Because a fucking Ford pickup truck is like $80,000.
Yeah, it's got to be more than that.
There's a lot of rednecks that'll buy Ford pickup trucks.
Yeah, but
actually, I know one redneck that did buy that fucking whatever that thing is called.
Tesla.
So the guy who does
Tesla.
The guy who does all those fucking like Bruce Pritchard podcast, that Conrad Thompson. You know, he bought one of those.
He's a redneck for sure.
Oh, he's from Huntsville, Alabama.
Yeah,
I think that's where they manufacture them.
That's probably where they manufacture them for sure.
Oh, who am I kidding? They're manufactured in China and sent over.
Rode it through North Korea. They all have fucking electric cars. What the fuck? Yeah, but let's say you buy one of those things. Let's just call it $100,000. You buy one, and then you drive it around for a little while, and something goes wrong with the engine, and you're like,
they go as fast as like a Porsche, man.
Yeah,
it's
but
got like
something breaks
suicide
down.
doors.
Anything. That little fucking iPad on the screen thing that does everything, that has the maps
If
and
your
everything.
transmission breaks down, you're not going anywhere. If you get a flat tire, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, but you can just get towed to the nearest mechanic shop and get it
You
fixed.
can just let your computer charge or plug it in or like boot up or whatever, and you're fine.
Yeah, plugging it in is not going to fix a transmission.
It's probably like turning it on and off like a laptop.
I don't think so. A transmission in a car is fucking probably
I'm
much the
talking
same.
I'm talking about the Tesla computer thing.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, but let's say like something inherently goes wrong in the computer that can't be fixed by turning it off and on. Now you're
like a porno virus. You don't watch porn while you're driving. That's not cool.
Well,
I would if I had one of those fucking things. I'd have browsers.
It could be
going
anything.
How would you be able to? You wouldn't be able to concentrate on the drive.
No, I wouldn't. I'd probably get in a lot of accidents.
Yeah.
Probably pull over.
Yeah. The Wheels Blues podcast does not condone distracted driving.
Pull over if you're gonna watch porn in your Tesla.
No browsers while you drive.
No browsers while you drive.
But yeah, no, you could just get towed to the nearest fucking mechanic shop. They'd likely be able to fix it because it's a car they've seen before. They're like, okay, yeah, no, we can fix this. We got to order some parts. It can take a few days. There you go. Or if you broke down in the city, it'd be like, yeah, it'll be here today, and then we'll have it on the road tomorrow.
There's probably lots of mechanics that know how to fix a Tesla now.
I bet you it's not, because
maybe not now because it's new. But welcome to the 21st century when there's different and better cars that have batteries, and you need to learn how to fucking fix them.
BMW. My mom used to own a BMW.
Oh, that's cool.
That fucker broke down so much. It broke down once every 3 months. Something fucking went wrong.
I'm sure it did.
She had to get that thing towed to Edmonton because the mechanics can't work on it here because of one, warranty, and two, because it's a fucking crazy piece of machinery that you need to know how the fuck it works to fix it. So it has to get towed back to the fucking dealership all the time.
It sounds like a flaw of mechanics. It sounds like a mechanical flaw. Like the mechanics are not good enough at their jobs.
There's a zillion different kinds of cars.
One
of them is very proprietary.
Right? Like,
yeah, you can't just order a fucking car.
In this town? Did you think anyone in this town is gonna buy one of those fucking Tesla trucks?
Yeah, like
not the car, but probably the car too. But the fucking self-bomber truck.
I could see lots of like hippie earth people that are
hippies are not buying the fucking Tesla truck.
Hippies can't
They're
buy
buying their little fucking Prius, or whatever the half car thing is called. And fucking that's what they're buying. They're not buying anything Tesla.
There's some hippie rednecks. They'd buy the Tesla truck.
There's some rich hippies. Well, I guess there's rich hippies now. It's not
there's
like
rich
hippies
hippies
where they're all dirty and
fucking ask.
Love the music, hate the ideals. I'll say that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I love the music.
I used to like all that hippie shit. I was all about it in like the early 2000s, kind of when it was pretty popular, and I was all about like it was, and I was all about the like smoking weed and the free love and all that shit. And I had long hair.
I don't remember you being all about that in like 2005.
I wore like ass gas or grass shirts and all this stuff, and I fucking seriously I did.
This just sounds like you watched that 70s show and thought they were cool.
I did watch that show, and I love that show, and I loved all the style.
So it is a good show.
Like around the time, I was always like, I dressed like that, I acted like that, and then I went to San Francisco, and I was like, yes, the hippie capital of everywhere.
This is where my people
are.
This
is where it is, and I was on Haight and Ashbury Street, like that's like the crossroads, like where this shit
happened, man.
That's where it happened. There were so many fucking hippies around. And I was like, I'm going to Haight and Ashbury to buy a guitar, which I fucking did. And I brought it home. But anyway, while I was there, I walked outside of the guitar shop and I was like, holy fuck, there's a lot of hippies around. And I started talking to some of them and they were like, hey man, do you have like $3? And I was like, what for, man? And he was like, conducting a brain experiment. How much fucking rum can I drink before my brain shuts down? And I was like, wow, hippies are fucking dumb. And then that whole time I was in that city, when I was in that area where all the hippies were, I was like, fuck these people. This is fucking, they're just beggars that are fucking stupid. At least the fucking regular beggars just ask you for money and that's it. These ones got a fucking story about how it saves the environment somehow.
You get off the plane and you walk out of the airport, you're like, where's Woodstock? And then there's like some guy that visits you like, in New York. like 30 years ago, idiot.
Yeah. No. So like, fuck. Like, I left there and I'm like, fuck hippies, man. These guys are fucking.
Yeah,
stupid.
hippies are like, it's not. It's like the idea of like hippieism or whatever is
like
just
that whole that idea of Woodstock and all that stuff. Like, it's cool. The music's awesome.
yeah.
The whole like dancing
But-
around and having a good time and living your life is awesome. But like, get a fucking
Not
job.
begging for change.
Yeah, get a
and,
fucking
like,
job after that.
Oh,
and-
Yeah.
I'm gonna live my life on good vibes, and it's like,
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
we need a job because I'm fucking starving.
yeah. You can't eat good vibes.
No, you can't.
So fuck.
Good
Like,
vibes don't keep you sheltered from
Yeah.
the cold.
yeah.
San Francisco gets cold. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does actually, because like when you're right down by the ocean there, it's like it's so humid that there's a lot of clouds. Like it pretty much blocks out the sun. So you can be like in a different part of the city, and it's like you're like, fuck, it's a beauty day. And then you get down Golden Gate Park area where that whole festival that I went to was, and it was like, you're like, what the, like as night was rolling in, like fuck, like you need a coat, like you need fucking coats. Like it's humid, and it's not like Canada -20 cold, but it's like 10 degrees and fucking humid and rainy.
Yeah.
I thought Vegas was really cold too. Actually, like in the evenings,
It might
Vegas
be.
Vegas gets fairly cold. Well, because it's a fucking desert, right? And the wind, there's nothing to block the wind. So if there's a wind, it's fucking cold there.
I would imagine, but like
it gets chilly in the evenings in Vegas.
probably.
yeah, but there's no hippies there crushing poor little Tyson's dream as he's walking down.
No, it's just
Dream with
everybody
his
else
brand
crushing
new
everybody
box.
else's
St.
dream.
Ashbury, fucking loving it. And it was a fucking rad festival though. It was called the Outside Lands Festival, and it was I went to the very first one that they ever did.
Who was on the bill?
I got it, the poster right here. Radiohead, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, Jack
Oh, wow.
Johnson, Beck, Wilco, Manu Chao, Ben Harper and the Innocent Criminals, Widespread Panic, Primus, Cake, Rodrigo and Gabriella, Steve Winwood, Cafe,
Jesus.
something or other, Broken Social Scene, Regina Spektor, The Black Keys, The Cold War Kids, Andrew Bird, Steel Pulse, blah, 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 blah. It goes on and on and on.
Fuck, you had me at Radiohead, dude.
Fuck, it was a rad show.
Yeah, man.
I went for 3 days.
Yeah.
I left here at midnight, like from 804 where I lived, with like a car full of 4 people, and we drove nonstop to San Francisco.
Whoa, who'd you all go with?
I went with Blanchard, Amy, and Luke,
Nice.
and we went.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember that trip.
Yeah, we left at midnight. We went and picked Blanchard up from work from the downstream at midnight.
Yeah.
And we fucking drove all from into BC, and we drove to San Francisco that
Your
that
fucking
night.
VW bus.
Oh.
Fuck.
Go, man.
We drove in a Mercury Mystique with a surfboard strapped to the fucking roof.
Of course. you
Nice.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get there?
Fuck. A whole 24 or more hours of driving.
You drove 24 hours straight.
Yeah, we
Did
just slept.
nobody fucking pee in that car?
Yeah, well, we stopped to pee,
Oh,
obviously, and
okay,
stopped for
okay.
fuel.
Okay.
Like one time we were we got to Oregon, and it was like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like it was fucked up. Like it was late. Like we had drove like the whole day, and like it was like, now getting night again.
Yeah.
And we were somewhere, and it was like, I don't know, 8 at night or something, and they were like, it was like that fucking no. There was like somebody yelling at the wall. And we were like stopped in the middle of the fucking wood, in the middle of nowhere. It's like in the US, you just pull off the highway and there's fucking shit everywhere. You go to a gas station, you pull back on the highway. You don't have to go into the city. You don't have to go into the town. You just pull off, go into, there's like a restaurant and some shit. But it was late, and there was just like random people just yelling at a wall. Someone was rolling a tire, and I was just like putting gas in the car, like, fuck, let's get the fuck out of here.
Jesus.
And yeah, we drove all the way down there, back in a hotel for about a week, and we went to Golden Gate Park and went to the show. The show was 3 days. I bought a guitar, I saw some hippies, and then we drove all the fucking way home, and then I went back to work. It was fucking sweet.
I would immediately go back to work if I was surrounded by that many hippies.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
I fucking need to get back to my job.
Yeah.
It was so funny, man. That the guy that was driving, he was like, "Look, we're in like Seattle, so we drove up through on the west. On the way back, we went through the redwoods. Like we didn't take like the main highway. We went like on the coast all the way up, and we got to the border. Like we went up like through Seattle and then like up to the border at BC, and we're like, And the guy driving, he says, like, we got to pull over and change drivers because I just got a look about me. I used to have a friend that was a border guard, and she said I had a look about me, and we're gonna get pulled over. And we were like, shut the fuck up, man, and just fucking drive the car through the border and let's go home. And we get to the border, and they're like, hello, guys. We're like, hey, like, where are you guys from? And he's like, oh, we're from the fucking Beauty National Park at Jasper, Alberta. And they were like, pull the car over, sir. And we're like, fuck. And then we got fucking searched. And then I put more beer in the car than I declared, and they fucking lost it at me. They were like, how much beer do you have in the car? And I was like, I don't know, like 12 or something. And they're like, you had like fucking 15 beer. I was like, oh, we cleared the beer fridge out of the hotel. I forgot. And they were like, whoa, that's huge trouble, sir. I was like, it's free beer. Like, cut me a break. Like, we've been driving for a day.
I'm Canadian.
Yeah, like, come on. When we went like, that was coming back into Canada. When we went to the States, the guy was like, 4 people? We're like, yep. And he's like, passports? We gave him our passports. What are you guys doing? Oh, we're going to the Outside Lands Festival. And he goes, oh, can I come? And we're like, yeah, man, hop in the car. And he's like, hi, you darn kids, have a good time. And he threw the passports in the car, and off he went. And coming back into Canada was like a fucking headache.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus, wow.
Oh, what do you guys got there? A bowling ball candle? That's awesome.
Yeah, like, he didn't fucking care, man. He was like the happiest dude in the world sitting in that fucking border thing. He fucking loved it. And then coming back into Canada. Actually, I've never had more trouble. I've been in and out of the States like a bunch of times, like by road and by boat and stuff. And every single time going there, they're like, hell yeah, fucking come on in. Welcome. Love to have you. And then coming back to Canada, they're like, what the fuck were you doing out of here?
Really?
I'm like, whoa, like, Jesus Christ.
Oh, holy wow.
I had quite the opposite experience. My mother used to live in Pennsylvania and Ohio. And I remember going down to visit her. I think I was like 17, 18 years old. Big trip all by myself. And, like,
oh yeah.
I probably stole, like some cigarettes, and whatever, and like had them on me loose and whatever in like a hoodie. And we get to the U.S. border, and I was on a bus, so you all have to get off and blah blah blah. And the guys, like, the first thing like I see when I get in there is like the guys with the fucking dogs, and I love dogs, so I go to put my hand out to pet the dog, and immediately like the dog jumped back, and the officer's like, "Don't touch the dog." I was like, "Oh." So then they're like, so I'm like walking down the line, being herded almost, and the guy sitting at the desk like looks at me and he goes, you wearing something under that sweater? And I go, well, yeah. And he's like, off, like, like take it off.
Like,
so I pull these loose cigarettes, and no, I'm sorry, I didn't have any cigarettes, but I had 2 lighters. Sorry. And I take them out of the pocket, I put them on the thing, and the guy's like, smoker? And I was like, well, kind of, but I was, like, I don't have any. And he's like, so what are the lighters for? And I'm like, well, for cigarettes. And he's like, but you just said you didn't have any cigarettes, so I'm wondering what the lighters are for. And I mean, at that point, I'm a 17-year-old kid. I'm like, what? Like, am I in trouble? Now I'm thinking, like, to light the fuse, asshole. Like, I'm out of dirt. Like, what's up? Like,
you would not say that now. You'd get like,
no, because I'd be immediately like, yeah. So anyway, it was grilling like that, So I was getting yelled at and dry humped up this fucking line till I get back to the bus. Coming back into Canada, I had like 4 cartons of like cheap smokes. They opened my bag, like the bag was open, and he's like, how long were you in the States for? And I was like, oh, like about a week. And he's like, well, welcome back, sir. I could have like 14 keys of heroin in that suitcase.
Oh wow. I had a knife confiscated at the airport terminal one year when coming back from Cuba. I just I was going through the airport, and I always get searched and like prodded at the airport because I'm in a wheelchair. They don't know where I can hide shit.
You're faking it. It's like, stand up.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
Stand
true.
up, sir.
Stand
Get out of
up.
your chair.
They dump you out.
Yeah, no, and I had a switchblade that my brother bought me, and I had forgotten that it was in there. It was just in there in my coat for like, I don't know, fucking months, and it was just in there. And I got to Cuba with it in my pocket, and they didn't check, but I didn't get fucking out of Cuba with it, Lamb Hog, and they were not impressed that I had like this fucking switchblade. And
you're lucky you ever got out of fucking Cuba.
No, it's fucking true. It's fucking true. But I was thinking like, I'm in a wheelchair. What am I going to do with this fucking switchblade? Like, what am I going to do with
Achilles tendons? Is what you're going to do?
Apparently.
Stab me in the knee.
Yeah. Dude, when me and my buddies were about 19, we took a trip through Central America and South America and stuff. So we'd gone by bus like all the way down from Mexico to Panama, and we had acquired shit on the way, and we had ended up with like frying pans and fucking knives and forks and all this shit because we were camping on the beaches a lot, and we were just like frying shit on the fire and all this stuff. Anyway, like we get to Panama and we have to fly. We're gonna fly to Ecuador. So we're in the airport and like we're all fucking like, yeah, we're gonna fly to Ecuador. This is fucking rad. And I'm standing in like the customs in Panama, and on this fucking X-ray screen, one of our bags goes by, and it's like a fucking like 2 frying pans and like 4 fucking like chef's knives. And I'm like, oh, and like immediately nobody ever thought about it. All 3 of us were like, yeah, just put our shit. Like we didn't really think about the knives. And then I'm like, oh fuck, we're going to fucking jail. And I'm shitting my fucking pants. And all of a sudden, like I can see them backing up the fucking X-ray. I'm like, I'm already through, and I'm looking at the guy behind me who had the bag. And I'm like, oh no, and I can see him just going back and forth. And then she calls over like 3 or 4 more like security, and they're all looking at the screen, and they're looking at us, and they look at the screen, and they look at us, and I'm like, I think I'm 19 years old. I'm shitting my fucking pants at this point. I'm thinking that we're going to Panamanian jail. I don't know anything. Like I'm in a foreign country with 3 buddies, and they just burst out laughing, and I'm like, okay. And they're just like all laughing, and they're like, sir, what are you guys going to do? Fry an egg on the plane? And they're just laughing their fucking asses off at us. And they're just like, guys, what's the deal with the knives and the frying pans and shit? And we're like, oh my God, we're so sorry. We've been camping on beaches all the way through Central America, and we've been like, you know, cooking for ourselves and stuff. We didn't even think about it, that there was knives and fucking shit. And they were like, okay, well, we're going to take the knives, but you guys can keep the forks. And we're like, okay. And what about the pans? They're like, yeah, you guys can keep the pans. And we're like, okay, thanks. And then they were like, okay, try not to fry too many fucking eggs on the plane, you stupid kids. And then we got on the plane and it was no problem. But we were fucking shitting.
Yeah, I'd be shitting my fucking pan. What were you doing down there? Just
fucking around, man. We went from Mexico to Panama on a bus, and we just every day we just hop on a different city and stay there for a while, and different city and stay there for a while, and it was pretty rad. We just drank a shit ton of beer and played a shit ton of pool.
There you go.
Nice, man. Nice.
I always have reservations of going to countries where like the fucking army is the police force.
Yeah, I was pretty like down there. If there's like an expensive like a TV shop or like an electronics shop, there's like fucking 3 army guys with AK standing outside. So when you go in, you're like, I'm just gonna buy a fucking like a Discman. At the time, I was gonna buy a fucking Discman. Yeah, fucking Discman.
Gotta get that El Sony.
Yeah, I gotta get the El Sony. Actually, I bought a Discman down there that played DVDs too. It came with cables hooked to a TV. Yeah, it was.
That's kind of cool. Actually, they never had that in fucking North America.
It was pretty nice because I could watch some movies. When we were just cranking when I was smoking 65-cent cigarettes and cranking $2 liquor, yeah.
And they played CDs too. Like they played music and movies. Wow, that's crazy. That's cool.
Yeah, how did they have that? I mean, I'm sure we did, but like I don't think I've ever heard of a CD slash.
And I bought all my CDs at like knockoff. They were like, you know, clearly printed on a fucking like a Canon printer, fucking CD jackets with like a burned CD in them. It was like $1 for like Coldplay or something. You're like, sweet, thanks, man.
Coldplay.
Yeah, it's awesome. Actually, the funny thing, I bought a pack of batteries for that Discman, and I from like a street vendor with like a box in front of them. They were like, Hola, bye. And they were like $2 for these batteries. And I'm like, thanks, man. And like, I saw them, they were Duracell batteries. I'm like, awesome. And I took them back and I put them in my Discman, that fucking Discman. And it didn't work. I'm like, what the fuck? These are brand new batteries. They're fucking Duracells. And I looked and they were fucking Dubacels.
Whoa.
Dubacell, not Duracell, Dubacell. They were close. And if you didn't look, you didn't know that you weren't looking at a fucking real battery. But anyway, $2 I'll never get back. But yeah, it was a pretty rad time.
Very good, man. Very good.
What you doing, Wheels?
I'm watching you guys.
Oh, you sound like you're clicking a lot.
No.
Oh.
I was clicking at something, but no, I'm paying attention.
Was it porn?
It was not porn. No. Wow. Where did Daniels go?
I don't know.
Did he just up and leave in the middle of your story about fucking Panama and Ecuador?
Yeah, pretty much. What a dick.
What the fuck?
Oh, looks like he's getting a beer. That's where I got to go to. I'm just going to wait for him to come back.
Oh, so at least you just waited until, yeah. Oh, wow. Cool. Did you have to work at all this week?
I did have to work this week.
Did you work every day?
Nope. I didn't work every day. I worked a couple of days for like a little bit.
Okay.
And that was it.
Yep. Nice. And did the missus have to work at all this week?
Yep. She worked pretty much the same.
Holy
a few days here and there, a little bit.
Fair enough.
Actually, today she worked pretty much the whole fucking day.
Oh, wow.
Because I think like everybody at the dentist office is calling because they're like, yeah, you're open, right? Kenny says you're open.
Yeah.
Can I get my fucking teeth cleaned?
So is essential services, I guess essential services are open here, but is expanding already in Jasper?
I think so. From what it looks like, fucking town today was busy as fuck and there was tourists everywhere. Like fucking dumb fucks. What the fuck are you doing?
I don't know,
This isn't a place to fucking quarantine yourself. Get the fuck out of town. Go home.
Well, they're not quarantining. They're just coming here because
to be a bunch of dicks.
It's a nice day, and because Katie was, I might have mentioned this last week, but Katie's like, yeah, these guys came in and they were like, oh yeah, the weather's finally nice, so we came down from Prince George for like the day, and it's
like why
that kind of shit. I mean, there's two sides. No, we're not at all like out of the woods on this by any means. But this is what I was saying. Like people, they hear, oh, okay, well, things are going to be opening up. So people are like, they're already packing their car.
Yeah, they're already jumping the gun.
And that's insanity because
way jumping the gun.
Yeah, and everybody's like, what are you going to do when you got to work full time? And I'm like, well, I'll deal with that when it comes to it. I'm like, well, what are you going to do with Bruce? I'm like, well, I'm not going to send him to fucking daycare. I know that.
What's the deal? Did you read the Fitzhugh that they're changing the daycare, they're cutting it or something? What's that about?
Daycare is going to be, as far as I know, they're going to open it up to like limited, like if you really fucking need it, which we don't. So
yeah, right.
He's not like, I mean, fuck. Kids are disease factories.
Right?
Yeah, but we're not even sending them there because I don't want to, because I'm going to work and Inga's going to work and we're around people all day.
Bruce can turn the TV on now. He's fine.
Well, we don't want to like send Bruce over there because he's been around us all day and now he could have something if we get it and now he can get it. Yeah. That's why we don't want to send him there.
No, true. So Inga, so if you have to work, then Inga takes his off, or if she has to work, you're off. Okay, yeah.
If she has to work, then I stay home. Like when we have days already, kind of where like both our employers know.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
And that's just kind of how we're doing it right now. But everyone's kind of wondering, what are you guys going to do? I'm like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the same question with Katie and I. Like, is if the info center were to open up, say tomorrow, I would definitely have to go back to work tomorrow, full time.
And then where are you going to put Tommy?
That's the big question, right? Like, where do we put Tommy? Because this is the whole thing. It's like it's so weird because you want the town to because we need to, especially like my job or my field, I guess if you want to say that, like
hospitality for sure.
We need those dollars,
absolutely,
especially to get us through like the winter. But on the other hand, I don't want to fucking be like dealing with people for like 8 hours a fucking day,
that are coming in from God knows where. It's fucking
from God knows where. We've been in contact with God knows what. And it's like I was even thinking about like we can't do this. This is a horrible idea, and people will never stand for it. But like, put a universal travel restriction where like you have like a barcode in your passport, and you can now only take one trip a year.
Slippery slope.
No, you absolutely can't do that. But I was like, fuck. Like I was like, oh, like. You know, the government should just totally do that. Be like, look,
what spurred
all this traveling bullshit is fucking everything up. You're getting.
But what spurred that idea on of like the one trip a year?
Because I'm stuck inside my fucking house for most of the fucking day.
Oh, so you're just thinking of random shit.
So I just think it's like shower thoughts, like 24/7.
Yeah,
you know, like
yeah.
So and I'm not like a traveler, like at all. Like I you know, there are places that I would love to visit, like England. I mean.
Do you not enjoy flying? Is that what it is, or do you? Just
I don't enjoy flying, but
nobody enjoys flying.
I don't mind flying. I like flying actually.
If I was going to plan a trip to England, I would take that flight. Absolutely.
No.
But these people, like it's just I don't know. These people they always need to. It's all fucking travel. Like, we're going to get out here and see the world. It's like, go fucking turn on Google and go fucking say, like...
It's because people are fucking... They don't have jobs anymore. Mommy and daddy's footing the bill, man. I don't know how everybody...
They do have jobs. They have jobs as, like, fucking servers and shit. And they make all this fucking untaxable tip money. And then they fucking take off for 3 months to God knows fucking what armpit of the fucking planet. And then the next thing you know, you're in a fucking wet market. Yeah, the Wuhan charter, and you're fucking. The next thing you know, you're in a wet market, fucking buying, fucking ox, fucking foot.
Dude, ox foot is delicious.
Oh, this fucking trip was awesome. And then the next thing you know, the entire plane you were on and everybody they know and love is now fucking sick. And I think travel is good, but I just think it's too much. Like we have people. I work with someone. And last year, they were maybe at work for like 3 months because it was like they would go to Mexico for like 2 weeks, and then they'd work for a week, and then they were gone to like Vietnam for like a month, and then they would come back, and then they were in LA for a fucking week, and it's like,
holy fuck!
Do you fucking need to fucking travel like that fucking much? Like, do you really need to fucking
like stay somewhere for a little while if you're gonna go there? A week is not a valid amount to spend fucking $3,000 to get there.
So it's that shit about this situation that scares the fuck out of me because of like, everyone's like, oh, we have to. Oh, I hate winter, so I'm going someplace for 3 months, like, as soon as February hits. And that's when I started thinking, like...
Then it's like, well, why the fuck did you come here?
It's because you're born here and you don't have a fucking choice now.
No, there's some people who come here and then this place becomes like a fashion statement to them.
This is where all the cool kids hang out.
This place is like a
this is where this happens.
Instagram pictures. Yeah, this is exactly where that happens.
This is exactly where that happens.
You do your fucking yoga pose at the edge of the world, and then you fucking call it a day and go back to your fucking shitty life in Calgary.
7,000 likes on Instagram, and you don't have to do anything for another
I love
week.
how you said Calgary.
So then, like 2 weeks later, you can post that hashtag "Take Me Back" fucking post of your original shitty post, and so it was just like, fuck yeah, put a barcode in the passport, and then that's it. You get like 3 weeks once a year, no loopholes. You can't take off like December 26th.
It's getting an awful lot like fucking China when you say shit like that.
I know. This is what I'm saying. This is a horrible idea, and you can't ever do it. But just in my head, and even in my trolliness, I can be like, no, fuck people. You can't
even
go
invoking
no
that
more.
shit during a pandemic is a little bit. I don't know.
Are you starting to believe like the backlash of the? No, you're not starting to believe any of that.
That's of course, no.
That's good.
The backlash of what?
Like, do you mean like do I want to protest a lockdown?
Yeah, like the protesting.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I don't.
Good. We can all still be friends.
I'm not protesting a lockdown, and I'm certainly not saying like,
let's rush back.
Shelter in your fucking home and don't ever fucking leave either. Like, go out and go for a fucking walk if you fucking, if that's what you want to do. But don't just
wash your hands when you get home.
That first Sunday at the fucking B is going to be like you think that Ghana Sypha Hercules was fucking bad. It's going to be fucking COVID City in those fucking places.
Oh, my God.
That's the thing. Like, everybody's rushing to get back. They're like, thank God we're getting back to normal. Like, fucking let's open shit. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter. Like, everyone's like, what the fuck are you going to do when you go back to work full time in June? or whenever the fuck this all wraps up. And I'm like,
2 fucking weeks.
Well, I'm like, well, first of all, the way that they're opening things up, come June, we're going to be back to March again. It'll be just the same as it ever was. We'll be back to the beginning.
You think it's going to be like we're just going to go back to square one?
Yeah. I do think that. I
don't think it'll be absolute square one because we do have like a general knowledge of like, okay, everyone's getting sick again, like shelter in and
I do think Canada's done very, very well.
And that's when you're gonna be like, oh, people like fucking Eric who are like, oh, fucking people just need to fucking, I need to get out there and fucking take care of my fucking. No. Whatever you thought normal was.
Yeah.
Like when I watched like wrestling matches from like Japan, and it would always be weird to me, like, you spot the people in the crowd who are wearing like face masks and shit. You're like, look at these fucking weirdos. Like, you're not gonna get sick.
It fucking makes sense now because there's like a fucking billion of them.
He's getting a fucking face mask in his stocking like every fucking Christmas.
Nice.
Here's an Optimus Prime face mask.
Yeah, absolutely. Every year, it's Spider-Man year, whatever. Like. Not that, but I think that is. I think take what you think normal is, wrap it up all nice, and throw it over your fucking shoulder because of that shit. Normal clearly wasn't fucking working.
No.
Normal was not working.
It's
the planet is sick. We're sick. The humans on it are sick.
Yeah.
The animals are apparently sick, and they're getting us sick.
Yeah, actually, the animals are fucking catching it. Like, we're giving it back to the animals now.
Yeah. Go out and find a duck and fucking lick it, and go give it back to them.
Yeah.
You tell that duck, fuck you, and you.
Fuck you, duck. You can have this back.
Goddamn mallard, fucker.
Fucking mallard.
But no, I think normal, and like I said this on a previous episode, like it makes me wonder, like the new sports stadium, like in LA and Vegas, and all these the fucking one in Dallas.
Man,
where,
how is Vegas gonna run? That place is run by fucking tourism. Like,
people are gonna go there, and you're gonna get sick. But once the vaccine comes out, now in a year, 2 years.
Yeah.
We could see some semblance of fucking what life used to be like before, but I think it's going to be completely different. I think that there's always going to be people now, like, you're in an elevator, somebody fucking sneezes, and you're going to be like, fuck, I got to go home for fucking 2 weeks now, and I got to take,
Yeah, instead of somebody sneezing in the elevator.
It's going to be a weird time for somebody.
I'm not laughing because it's funny.
No, I know.
Because it's like, you're probably not fucking wrong.
That's just the way I feel about it. Like whatever normal was, going to the ball game and sitting in fucking. The only upside to this is there's going to be a whole lot more elbow room at these fucking venues and on airplanes and shit. I'll tell you that.
What about planes though? Like, what the fuck?
I've heard that planes are still packing them in there, like side
by side. I've heard different.
Oh well, fair. But
I've heard there's tons of planes that are just like there's like fucking like 8 people on.
I'm sure there's planes that are doing it probably, but I'm sure there's planes that are like not doing it correctly as well.
But again, it's not a law. It's not a universal law that you can't go anywhere. All of these medical people are all saying this is what you should do. And then people who are informed and who have at least some semblance of a fucking brain in their head are like, maybe we shouldn't fucking take that trip to fucking Australia.
Like you can,
maybe we'll put that off. And then there's idiots who are like, well, I'm not going to get arrested if I go out. And then they go
violating my freedoms and my civil liberties. Blah.
You kind of want them to get sick, but you don't want like you want them to get it but recover from it. And then be like, do you see? Like, I'm not wishing death on people, but it's like,
no, I'm kind of the same. I'm kind of the same. I don't want anyone to die, but I kind of like more people to get it. Just be like, like now do you know? Now do you get it?
Yeah. Now you see why we're not fucking cramming on the fucking airplane. This is why you can't go to the nightclub past fucking like midnight, and there's only like 14 people in there, and you can't hook up anymore.
Yeah.
It's the selfishness, and like I say,
that's gonna cut my getting laid out by like 95%.
Getting laid.
95%.
This could affect me too. Katie went out a lot, man.
That's I guess she'd come home wearing red and ready to go quite often, probably.
Wine, the fucking wine, buddy. But I think that's exactly where we are, and it's just like I just like people need, and like I feel like like I'm trying, like I'm not only teaching my 3-year-old how to become like, like to, take a shit and, whatever. Yeah. This is what most of the population of this planet needs to do. You need to be sat down like a fucking 3-year-old and explained you can't get on the plane because
that is the hardest thing for this thing. Like adults need to be explained why they can't
dumb
do
idiots
shit.
are like, well, why?
It's not that bad. I won't catch it.
I want to go to the beach and fuck some muscle-bound, oily fucking person. Nah, fuck you, man. Your shit's done. That skimpy bathing suit you bought in fucking February is now rendered useless.
Yeah.
Fucking
all
get
those,
used
all
to
the,
it,
all
man.
those crunches were for nothing.
Yeah.
Go
to the gym for shit.
For nothing. The gym is over now. Gyms
should
are
all dress
done.
like stormtroopers. Although I guess not after that video of that fucking person getting harassed.
What was that about?
That was hilarious.
It was funny, but it doesn't even look like a real gun. How could you confuse that with a real gun?
Because people are fucking somebody who's never seen Star Wars is like, oh, this person's clearly a mate.
What kind of gun is that?
I picture my dad making that fucking phone call. Because I don't think he's ever seen Star Wars. He'd be like, yeah, I got some fucking weirdo fucking
but he probably knows what a gun looks like.
He probably knows what a gun looks like, but when he sees, but I'm saying, like, I don't think my dad has either seen Star Wars or fucking remembers anything about it. So if he were to be sitting on the bench in front of his apartment, some asshole like a stormtrooper walks up with a blaster.
2 things. Your dad needs to relax
be
a little more tolerable. And
correct.
you need to sit down and watch fucking Star Wars with your father.
Not gonna happen.
No, I can't get my father to watch Star Wars either. He's not into it.
Oh man,
he's not into it. No,
it's not. But that's why that shit happens, because some knob is like, well, there's a lunatic dressed up in a weird outfit outside my walking down the street, and I think they were trying to get people to go, like it was like for like a business or something.
It was May the 4th. It was like the Star Wars Day or whatever.
Unfortunately, I'm aware of Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan, but that fucking May the 4th shit is
it's a dumb
Don't
thing.
say May the 4th be with you, because I'm gonna fucking cough on your ass.
Right on your ass. But no. Okay, that's fine. I accept your premise that like strangers might not know what Star Wars is. But I do not accept your premise that fucking cops and Mounties and RCMPs don't know what a fucking gun looks like.
You would think that at least one of those cops would have rolled up there and been like,
there was like 4 of them. There was 4 of them. Yeah. There was 4 of them.
Yeah, not one of them is fucking been like, well, wait a minute, what was that movie with Yoda? This looks like that Yoda guy. Like,
come on.
Whoa, what's that movie, Attack of the Clones? He looks like the Attack of the Clones guy.
The one with the guy with the breathing thing? That guy. I don't know, man. There's been a lot of like kind of gun violence in Alberta the last few days too. Like there was thing. Yeah, there was that thing with the fake gun and the stormtrooper. There was somebody in Lethbridge, I think, shot a Mountie and shot like somebody in the arm. Apparently there was 2 shootings in Edmonton that Johnny Johnson was talking about on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's the big one in fucking Nova Scotia. There was a warning about somebody walking around with a gun in fucking Moncton, New Brunswick. Like, what's happening? What are we doing here? Like, why are we all
going nuts?
Why are we all of a sudden being stupid and turning into the
because we've watched all of Netflix, we've watched all of YouTube, and we don't know what to do.
So now we've just decided, fuck it, we want guns. Let's do shit.
Let's fuck shit up.
Let's fuck shit up. I don't know. It boggles my
what's
mind.
Been going on.
I don't know,
hate
man.
To see that.
Speaking of insane amounts of guns, this is going to go a lot of off topic.
Okay.
Have you guys ever played the game Hotline Miami?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
I've never heard of it, no.
You guys should both play this game.
Okay.
I almost destroyed my computer yesterday playing this game. It's so fucking hard. But it's a ton of fun. But like,
are you an angry video game player too? Just like
you
sports?
You bet.
Are you? Oh,
You bet. 100%.
Living with you must be tough.
Oh, I probably.
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Continue.
But you get one life, right? And you got to go through like 4 or 5 levels.
Is it that scenario where you're told you have one life by somebody, we will not name them, Sid, but you go online and you check to see if it's actually true?
No, it's like a top-down pixel game
true?
where like you got to kill everybody in a room and then you move on to the next room and then you kill everybody in that room.
You have like one life per room kind of deal, or is it?
You have one life total. Well, one life per room.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so like, but you have to get through all the rooms or it doesn't save. So for example, last night I got to like 5 rooms deep in this fucking shit that was so hard to get that far that like my mental ability to play a video game was fucking done at that point. And I just couldn't get past this last level. And I'm like, fuck, if I don't beat this last level, I'll have to start at the very beginning 4 levels back, which took all of my mental ability to get this far. And at the end of the day, I just fucking shut the game off. And now I'm like fucked because I'll have to start at the beginning again. But like, when you just don't have you're mentally done.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't handle it. I was just like, I fucking can't. I can't. But you guys should play it. It's fun until it gets to that point.
Hotline Miami.
It is available on PS4.
I've seen it on PlayStation. I've seen it on PS4.
Yep. You can. There's 2 games. There's Hotline Miami and Hotline Miami 2. I think they're about maybe just under $30 on the PS Store for the bundle. And it's a ton of fun, but it's fucking hard. I think it would be more fun with friends where you can like pass the controller off when you try it, and then like it kind of goes around a circle, and then you calm. By the time it comes around again, you've calmed down enough to fucking try.
Are you as angry a gamer as say like Goose?
I don't know, like Goose.
He was an angry little dude, man.
I've seen that guy fucking put holes in walls.
Okay.
Because of like wrestling.
I would be borderline that then.
Yeah.
But I live with Goose.
I feel like you would be that guy if you didn't have a wife and kid.
Oh yeah, no, if I didn't have supervision for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough.
It'd be like a lot like when I watch hockey games.
If I didn't have a babysitter, I would be fucked.
If I didn't have a little boy who'd probably watching my every move, and I have to set an example, then yes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Can't just be hucking shit around at the TV when he's around.
No, you can't. No.
Like, okay, calm down, Tice. Discipline.
Discipline.
Yeah, it was the first time I heard Tommy like call someone a bum. Because we had been watching. I believe we were watching the Jays, and I was like, bums.
Bums.
And then he'd be like, "Hey, Dad, look at this bum," and I'm like, "Oh
no,
no."
Oh well, whatever.
Look at this bum.
Gonna save a lot of money on that, not having to waste on college.
Look at this bum. He struck out, Dad. And you're like, I'm proud and ashamed at the same time.
It was like watching, like catching like a little bit of wrestling with him. And, and person comes on the screen. He's like, who the hell is that guy? And I know that definitely was like one of those where like, I know I had said that. And like, but it was like under my breath. And I think I was watching a TV show. I'm like, who the hell is that guy? And like, then you go Google on your phone, and then, of course, there's sponges.
Yeah.
Those are like the only 2 times where I know like where I've slipped up, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah. You're like,
it was hilarious having Tommy like eating a sandwich and being like, Dad, who the hell is that guy? That's a bum, Thomas. That's a bum.
Yeah, that's a bum. He's a bum. Don't worry about that, Thomas.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd crack up. I wouldn't be able to not laugh.
Dude,
there's things that kids do where it's just obscenely funny, but you got to be like, nope.
That's when you turn your back. You turn your back and you're laughing, and the other parent is like scolding, and then you're like, and then when you're ready to come back, you come back, and then the other parent starts laughing, and then you just kind of tune after that shit.
No,
because
man,
it is absolutely hilarious sometimes, and you're like, just like, holy shit!
They
What
just
the
have
hell
they
is
have
that?
no filter. They have no filter. They just don't know. It's like the best.
No, they don't know what
but our
they're
kids are
saying.
getting into that age where you really got to watch it because
Absolutely.
you're going to be like another parent.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, Daddy, he doesn't seem like a moron. Like, why, my daddy thinks you're a moron. And it's like, what?
Yeah, dude, you got to really be careful. Man, I don't remember when I was pretty young. I think my dad was like, oh yeah, that guy. Daddy doesn't like that guy very much, but don't say anything. And then like a little while later, I was like, hey man, my dad doesn't like you. And then he was like, oh, it's okay, I don't like your dad either. And then my dad was like, like fuck. I think my dad learned a lesson about telling a 6-year-old things that day or whatever, however fucking old I was.
Daddy, is this the guy that I'm not supposed to say you hate? And you're like, yep, that's the guy.
Yeah.
How's it going, Fred?
Shit.
Fuck you, asshole.
You're like, well, they fucking earned that there.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, son. I talked to my dad about that one, and he was like, nah, I don't give a fuck. That was like 30 years ago.
Still?
Oh, man.
Yeah, so what else are we going to talk about today? What else we got for on the go today?
Well, I know the Oilers have signed Marcus Niemelainen to a contract. I think it's 2 years.
Who's that? Tell me what that guy. I don't know who that is.
Marcus
Niemelainen, that's right.
That's
yeah,
the one?
I think he was drafted in the same year as McDavid, I think. Fact checker could check that if he wants. But he's a Swedish defenseman. He strikes me a lot as like Adam Larsson, kind of
sold.
Well, yeah, but the league's kind of going away from those kind of guys. But I'd still sign him for sure because you never know what he could develop into.
Yeah.
But the Oilers did sign him, and as far as I know, they also signed another Swedish defenseman. I don't know the name, but he was from he's a free agent. So he wasn't a guy they drafted, and he's a lot like that, probably Joel Person.
Do you think that they're going to get to finish the season? Do you think that's happening?
No.
Is it done?
It's done? It's done.
No, okay.
It's done.
Okay, they should do what I think it was PK. Subban was saying, if you can get something going, say before, like July or the end of June, doing every team makes the playoff, single elimination, like the finals are like a best of 5.
I don't know. That seems.
That would take fucking forever. By the way, it'd probably take longer than the fucking regular.
It would take for fucking ever.
There's already a fucking.
I guess you have 10 games per day, on some Saturday nights. You have
you'd have to be back to junior hockey where you're up at 6 a.m. You gotta play.
Yeah.
You have to play the Stars. Fucking.
No. But you were saying it'd be single elimination, so they'd have all 30 teams or whatever they would play, and then half of them would be eliminated. So then there would be 15 left, and then it would just go. So it wouldn't actually take that long. But
I just feel like TV contracts. I feel like TV contracts would fuck that shit up.
Well, the whole thing would be revolving around who the fuck has the broadcast rights to what.
Yeah.
That whole NHL is like a fucking master class of scheduling across.
Because that'd be between NBC and fucking Sportsnet or Rogers Media.
Think about Staples Center. There's isn't there 2 fucking basketball teams in LA?
There are 2 basketball teams.
And a hockey team, and I think the Lakers and the Kings play in the same.
Lakers and the Clippers.
Lakers and the Clippers. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Lakers and the Clippers play in the same thing. So there's 2 different leagues with 2 different schedules that all have to make use of that building. It's a fucking.
Well, but you're thinking that basketball and hockey come back at the same time. Is it not up to just that? So if the NHL says okay, based on what we've seen, we're going to move forward with whatever it's going to look like an empty arena, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't necessarily mean that the NBA is going to be well, the NHL is doing it, so I guess we're fucking – I mean, it might, but,
I do have notes about that. The NBA did there is a proposal to do empty arena games in, LA and Las Vegas for the NBA.
Okay, and
Edmonton, you still have to fly people in there.
No, I agree. I think it's stupid.
People got to come from Toronto, Canada. They're going all the way to LA.
I agree.
Visas are a problem, and borders are a problem. we pretty much got through the entire episode without fucking up.
That's good. That's actually really good.
And it's been clear so far.
The episode that Sid wasn't on. No?
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, imagine that. Imagine that.
I wonder if I should find a way to include that.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's talk about, guys. Squeed, our esteemed co-host here.
Yes, we do have to do that. We have to send a shout out to Mr. Squeed
and I just want to call.
Squeed.
That's right. It is their anniversary.
Yes, congratulations to them.
Congratulations, happy anniversary. We love the both of you. And Squeed, we question your commitment to the podcast if you're putting your family and girlfriend ahead of it.
Girls,
yeah, right.
Girls.
It's a huge red flag to put your girlfriend ahead of the pod.
Yep. We don't sense the dedication that you're committing to this.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
And you've been slacking on the Instagram too, there, bud.
Yeah, come on, let's get going.
Yeah. we all did our homework. Okay. Now you're not doing your homework.
You're off gallivanting around with your girlfriend celebrating
around
when it's podcast night.
It's podcast night, yeah. One night a week,
no
buddy.
Excuses.
1 night a week. No excuses, man.
It's bullshit.
All jokes aside, happy anniversary, you two.
Happy anniversary, Sid and Shannon.
I know the both of them will listen, so there you go.
Yes,
sure. Love you guys.
But yeah, that was episode 12 of the Wheels Blues podcast, and
fucking rights.
From all of us, I am at Mighty Wheels on Twitter and Justin Reither on his Facebook and Instagram, and you can follow, subscribe, and rate us 5 stars.
You betcha. I am at Tin Can Blues. You can find our website is wheelsbluespodcast.wixsite.com/my site. You can find everything you need there, our blog, our podcast, our merch, it's all there. And our Instagram is Wheels Blues Pod. And go on there to view our pictures and all the BS that we get up to. It's a hell of a good time. Follow us wherever you can. Listen to us whenever you can. And you can find us on most podcast platforms. Eric?
I am at Eric _83. I want to just mention at the end here quickly, you can also find Wheels at messierfan.420@hotmail.com.
Hashtag
the moose.
Hit him up with all your number 11 fucking needs, and
there you go.
I can't believe you made me a Gretzky fan in the last 2 days.
I don't understand why you're on his side more in this conversation.
Great show tonight, guys. Thanks a bunch.
Wow. Thanks.
There you go.
Wow. There you go.
All hail Mighty Wheels.
All hail Mighty Wheels.